welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special video and my sister's here. Hello. To help review the cage that I was sent. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it for now, but I'll put it on the screen. Just a little disclaimer, you guys know I am not a huge fan of keeping ferrets in cages for long periods of time. However, I understand that a lot of people do use a cage to keep ferrets overnight when they're not home, etc. So many uses for a cage. I'm not anti-cage. I just don't believe that they belong to I do not believe that they belong in cages for long periods of time. So just keep that in mind. But I really wanted to compare this cage to the Double Ferret Nation, Double Critter Nation, which are the most popular ferret.
You just bit my toe.
Oh no! The most popular cage for ferrets out there on the market. We don't have very many options, Molly, to choose from when it comes to ferret cages. We just have the Double Ferret Nation, which she is also familiar with. It is not the most amazing to deal with. To transport, to deconstruct, to put together, the Double Ferret Nation is a big hassle. So I'm really hoping that this cage is going to be a little bit easier. Alphonse has taken a liking to. He's going to have a lot of fun playing in this cardboard box. Also, disclaimer, this cage was sent to me to review, and
Give me those scissors.
but I'm still going to do my unbiased opinions, right, Molly? And Molly too, as a...
I wasn't sponsored.
Molly was definitely not sponsored for this video. So the interesting difference from this cage to the Ferret Nation is it's made of wood as the framework, which is both a good and potentially bad thing when it comes to ferrets, but we're gonna reserve those thoughts.
I think he likes it though.
It definitely has a very strong piney scent, and the other difference is it has wire mesh on the outside versus the vertical bars or horizontal bars. So they come with instructions, and here are all of the pieces,
Me included.
all the tools. So we managed two sides. It's not very sturdy because it's held together with only one nail in the middle, or one screw. That's what we got so far. Did have to take out the drill. Okay, we have finally finished assembling all of it. What time is it? So it took about 2.5 hours. It wasn't exactly easy, but we can talk more about that later. I have Patsu in there. He's in the house. Oh my god. But it's got a nice, spacious lower level, kind of like a half level up here, and then another half, and then another level up top. There's like no easy way to let them just walk in and out of it, because the lowest door is that one. Okay, we are finished. And this is the final product. It actually goes up all the way. I'd say it's the same size as the Double Ferret Nation. Yeah. Patsu's in there right now, testing it out. But I wanted to go over some of the pros and the cons. I'm gonna start with the pros. And the first thing, right off the bat, was really good shipping. It came really fast, within a couple days. It was all boxed up nicely, had no issues getting it out of the box was fine. The first thing that you would notice looking at the cage is it's very aesthetically pleasing. It has the very neutral gray tone, and it's a nice color. I don't mind it. I'm not a huge gray furniture fan. It does have wheels, so it's fairly easy to move, although it's kind of rickety because it's mostly made out of wood. It does, I'd say, have a similar floor space to the Double Ferret Nation. It has fairly easy access to the bottom tray. It has like this little flip up feature that you can slide the tray. And there are latches that have been included so that it's not just going to be flapping open all the time, because that would be a really easy way for ferrets to get out. But we didn't put it on because they're not going to be closed into the cage. Did come with like cute little houses. It came with two nice wooden houses that we had to assemble, but they're really cute. The levels do have guardrails, which is really interesting. That's what this is, with the shiny part on top, which I like. I'd like them even bigger, but I still like them. That is all my pros, and now we move on to the cons. I do quite a bit And that's not to say the cage is bad by any means, but I wanted to be completely honest here. The first thing is it was hard to assemble. The instruction manual claimed it only takes about 45 minutes, and it took us 2.5 hours with 2 people. And at some points we did need Brian to help, so 3 people, which I think that could have really been alleviated if the instruction manual was a little bit better. Because it had us doing, how do I explain that?
Order.
It's like, yeah, it was like not a good order that it had us go in. It had us like kind of building like one side from the bottom up, but then you had to put the side to do the other side. Like it would have been better if like it had you build the base first and then you built on top of that. There were some areas that had pegs that slid into other parts of the cage, but you did have to screw and drill. My next point is the wood is pretty splintery and fragile. There are some bits that even out of the box it was kind of like cracking a bit and splintering. Even well, this area here we didn't do that great of a job. It's just the wood is really easy to break. Out of the box it had like a very chemically piney smell, but it seems to have gone away since coming out of the box and being out here, so that's good. It's not a bad, like, it's a pleasant smell. It's just not exactly sure how good that is for the animals to be breathing in, but it seems to have aired out nicely. The ladders, I think, were the most difficult part of the entire cage, and it's the most minor function feature of the cage. So we kind of just settled for like this ladder here is supposed to be attached to this platform, but we just couldn't get it to happen. So we actually drilled it into the house, the wood house, and they just kind of climb up onto the house and then onto the platform. I do recommend putting ladder covers or ramp covers on, and the ones that I have, I only have one right now, was made for the Ferret Nation. There's no easy in and out, so unlike the Ferret Nation, it's a lot easier for ferrets to get in and out, like if you leave it open all day. You can only do hammocks at the very top, as you can see, because that's where there's wire mesh. You can't obviously attach them to any of the wood. Some of the panels seemed flimsier than others, but that's pretty on par with the Ferret Nation. There would always be like a panel or two that was weird and just wouldn't line up correctly and was really difficult to get in place. But that's pretty much all that I had so far on my pros and cons list. I would be worried about ferrets being able to escape if you can't have them out all the time. It seems to be stapled into the wood, but this sort of grid material is really easy for ferrets to get their claws and teeth onto, versus the Ferret and Critter Nation cages. Their bars are either vertical or horizontal. The horizontal ones are pretty much the same issue, but the vertical ones are a little bit better. So I'm not sure how this would hold up. That's like what it boils down to. I'm not sure how it would hold up for long-term use for ferrets. And also because a lot of the structure is made of wood, it would degrade over time with poo and pee if your ferrets are not well potty trained. And if you do decide that you want to try it out, I'll have a link. So, just as a size comparison, Molly, how tall are you?
5'4".
5'4". You're a little bit taller, so it's about, 5'3", 5'4".